Today we're going to learn the last type of format for our quadratic equations when we are graphing, and it is either called intercept form or factored form. I tend to call it intercept form more often than factored, but you'll see why we call it factored form as we go through this. So, a couple things you need to know is we actually have two sets of parentheses in intercept form. You'll remember yesterday with vertex we had one set of parentheses with a square, and standard form doesn't have any parentheses in it. But we are going to use the numbers in the parentheses and change the signs to get our x-intercepts. Okay, and then after that, our axis of symmetry is in the middle of those two, so we can average them or add them together, divide by 2, and then plug the vertex in to the equation and simplify. So when you graph this, you don't actually have to make a table of values. Let's go through one, see if it makes sense. Okay, so here's our equation in intercept form or factored form. You'll notice that it looks like the problems that we did last unit when we factored. To find our x-intercepts, we're going to take the numbers that are inside the parentheses and change our signs. So for our 2, we're going to change that to a -2, 0. And for the negative 4, we're going to change that to +4, 0. And we're going to go ahead and plot those. So -2, 0 and 4, 0 are on our graph. Now, to find the axis of symmetry, I can take those two numbers and add them together and divide by 2. So if I add those, I get 2. Divide by 2, I get 1. So that means my axis of symmetry is right through the middle there. Now, you actually don't have to do that work. If you can look at the graph and see that this is the middle, that's fine. You just need to know that our axis of symmetry is 1. Okay, last step, we are going to take our axis of symmetry and plug it into the original equation. So we're going to do 1 + 2 times 1 - 4. And I want you to type that into your calculator so that we can find our vertex. So if you type this in, we get -9. So that is our vertex. We're going to go ahead and plot that on our graph. So 1, -9 is down here. And we can use then those 3 points to draw a parabola. Okay. Apologize, mine's not very curved. Take your time with that. Let's do one more. Make sure we're okay with it. Okay, so notice we're in factored form. We did talk about how if this number out front is negative, remember if it's negative our graph goes like this, and if it's positive our graph goes like this. That also applies in this form. So we have f of x equals negative quantity x - 2 times the quantity x + 4. So our x-intercepts, we're going to change our signs. So our intercepts are going to be +2, 0 and -4, 0. So just took those two numbers, changed our signs, plot them on the graph. Okay, now you'll notice that this right here is in the middle of those 2 points. So if it helps, or if it's easier, you can go ahead and say it right away, x equals -1. Not sure why we're changing color there. Okay. Or you can go ahead and do the same thing we did in the last problem and do 2 + -4 and divide by 2. So 2 + -4 is -2. -2 divided by 2 is -1. Completely up to you. Does not matter. Both work. Okay, so after we have our axis of symmetry, we're going to plug that in to the original equation. So I have -1 - 2 and -1 + 4. So our vertex is going to be at -1, comma. If you type this in, this time you get a +9. So you see how this is very similar to the last graph. It kind of flipped it over and shifted things around. Okay, so here's our vertex. We have 2 points already, so we can go ahead and draw our parabola in. Hopefully it's a little bit straighter than that. Or I shouldn't say that. Hopefully it's a little bit more curved than that. So there's my parabola. Okay, so third form, intercept, or factored form, either way. Go ahead and do the guided practice problems. Once you are finished, raise your hand. We'll check them out. If you have any questions, let us know, and we will come help you. This is the last of the 3 forms that you are learning. So tomorrow, we are actually going to, and we're going to change this, we're actually going to review tomorrow, and we're going to quiz on Friday. So get your work, get your guided practice done, get your homework, get to work. If you have any questions, let us know. Have a great day.